this past weekend, right? A good card on paper, but it didn't really look like that when you actually saw the fight.
Not at all, man.
To start it off, you had Ryan Garcia losing to Rolly Romero.
Right. What I say.
Yeah.
What I say. I said Rolly got a chance to beat him. I said don't be upset when Rolly beat him.
What did you see that would let you to know that could possibly happen? Because a lot of people just right off the bat they thought Ryan would just knock Rolly out.
Well, see, remember this: Rolly had a punch of chance like Ryan had. You know what I mean? Rolly had a good game plan, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you notice, when Rolly was throwing his shots, he kept that right hand locked to his ear. That's to protect him from the left hook. And mostly all the time, you know that Ryan, that's what he throws. His left hook is his bread and butter. And what you call him, he capitalized on that, man. And then once he got caught with his hook, look what happened. You know what I mean?
The same hook that he caught him with in sparring, the double left hook.
Same one, you know what I mean?
What did it shock you that Rolly outboxed him though? Because Rolly's known as a heavy puncher.
Well, listen, you never know when you get in with somebody that can fight. You know, that's on another level. That's what happens, right? You go to another level yourself, though. You know what I mean? You're gonna be cautious, and you're gonna be, you know what I mean? You make sure you're not making too many mistakes, because you know this guy can punch like I can punch. So I think they had a great game plan. Rolly and his team had a great game plan.
Now everybody's feeling like Ryan Garcia did not look the same as he looked in the Devin Haney fight.
Right.
And that was because he was off of PEDs.
Right.
Does that make you look at, you looking at the two performances like, yo, something had to be up?
With Ryan?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know about that aspirin, so I can't even talk about it, though. But he didn't look the same at all. I agree with you on that, though. So I don't know what it was, you know what I mean?
You think, or it could have been Rolly's power that kind of kept his hands in his pocket?
Well, see, yeah, back to that. That's what I agree with. I agree with that. He knows that Rolly can punch like he can punch, maybe even harder. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, that's what I think. That's why he's so skeptical. After first he came out there, he coming in like he was going bum rush him. You know what I mean? Like he going there. But once he felt that power, everything started changing. Once he got knocked down, you see he wasn't the same no more. He tried to do the same thing what he did when they fought the other boy when he got dropped. It was Taylor.
Luke Campbell.
Yeah, Luke Campbell. And he came running back out. After Rolly, you look what happened. He got caught. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then that same night, Devin Haney.
Right.
Devin Haney wins a wide unanimous decision against Jose Ramirez.
Right.
But people really weren't happy with the performance. Felt like he did too much movement.
Yeah.
Coming off of a beating against Ryan Garcia.
I think he did the right thing. Coming off that beating, you know what I mean? Boxing move, but I would have sat down a little bit more and let him know that I'm here and I want him to respect me. You know what I mean? He did move around a little too much. You know what I mean? You know, but other than that, he won the fight. You know what I mean? But they kept on telling me he was running. You know what I mean? The name of his game is hit and not get hit.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So he did it. He did it the way he wanted to do it, and he won. You know what I mean? But people was not going to pay to see that. You know what I mean? They want to see a fight. You know what I mean? You know, but I like I said, I took my hat off with Devin. He stood in there and he started dancing around. They said running, whatever you want to call it, and he won the fight. It wasn't no exciting fight at all. You know what I mean? Ramirez was trying to fight. You know what I mean? But he couldn't. See, a lot of them guys like them, they don't have no what I mean, not mobility, but they don't have that movement. They flat-footed when they fight. Most of them guys is flat-footed, and when you just give them a little bit of movement, it offsets them. You look what happened to Canelo.
Facts.
Same with Canelo. You know what I mean?
Devin's getting a lot of criticism, and this is what's funny because when a fighter is too offensive and knocking guys out,
right?
They say he gets hit too much. If a fighter is really, really defensive, Shakur and now Devin, they say, he's not exciting, he's a runner.
Right, that's what they say.
I don't understand what fans want. It's like, however you're going to win, you're going to win. And Devin won.
That's right. That's what I say. I agree with that. He won mostly every round to me, too. Yeah. If you look at it, you know what I mean? They can talk about it all they want to talk about. Like I said, the name of the game is hit and not get hit. You know what I mean? But you still have to fight sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much time is it going to take for him to blend the being defensively responsible with throwing punches?
Who?
Devin.
I don't know. I don't know how they train it. I don't know who's really training him. So I don't know what the method they have. I don't know what type of method they have when they train it. So I don't know, man. It might take a long time. You've been doing this so long, so might never take effect.
Okay. Is it normal for a fighter to be a little gun shy coming off of? It's not really a loss. It was no contest, but he took some punishment. In that fight.
I think it's normal, man. I think the way he fought, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, as long as I win the fight. He won the fight. Ryan didn't win the fight. So that was the big money fight was coming up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he did his job. Ryan didn't do his job. So,
facts.
You know what I mean?
Last question, Mr. Bozy. Mm-hmm. Canelo Alvarez, William Skull.
Right.
Canelo landed, I think that broke the record for the most punches, the least punches thrown and the least punches landed in the 12-round fight. Mm-hmm. I think Canelo landed 55 punches.
Right.
William Skull used a lot of movement. People were calling it running.
Same like a...
You told me that Terence Crawford and Canelo was a 50-50 fight. You told me Terence Crawford had a chance.
Right.
Me, I was leaning towards Canelo because of the size.
Right.
I want to apologize.
Yeah.
Because after watching that fight, I see what you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm telling you, movement. That movement all sets everybody, man. And with Canelo, he get frustrated. You see him walking to you and all that. If he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Now, did watching that make you feel like Terence Crawford has better than a 50% chance? After watching, I know we've seen him against Lara back in the day, but now this is supposed to be a new and improved Canelo.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull. Terence gonna fight you. You know what I mean? He's Terence from the streets, man. You know what I mean? He know what to do. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it. I think he's going to wind up frustrating Canelo. You know what I mean?
So what's the right way? Because Skull was moving too much. Is as soon as he as soon as you turn him, then is that when you start firing off?
Well, see, the thing is, the right way, the way I would have my fighter doing is I'm boxing him, you know what I mean? And he coming at me, I'm hitting him, pop, 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 pop. And soon he gets set, I'll tie him up. Walking to the center. You know what I mean? We cruise to the ropes and do the same thing and keep on frustrating, hit with the jab, boom, boom. Keep on moving, but also hitting him though. You know what I mean? And he gets frustrated, then he let his guards down. And it's a good night.
Also, during the face-off, were you surprised that Terence Crawford looked like he was taller than Canelo?
No, I wasn't surprised. I knew, I wasn't surprised that. Terence was, what, 5'8", 5'9", something like that. Yeah, I wasn't surprised though. I knew he was a little taller than he was.
I expected Canelo to look bigger though.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I think Terence gonna do what he do, man. I think Terence might stop him. He might stop him, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but listen, he ain't been hit by Terence though. Terence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches got to be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terence placed them punches, man. Them body shots, man. I don't see too many people go to Canelo body. Have you seen that?
Not really.
Not too many people.
Even Triple G, who's a good body puncher.
Yeah, but
everything was up top.
Everybody, and he got a hard head, man. So I will go to the body, go to the head, and go back down to the body. And then once you keep on going to that body, he's gonna drop his hands. Once he drop his hands, good night.